Namaste. Okay, great. Nice to connect with you guys in kind of a different setting. You're not in front of me, but you are almost in front of me. And so today I'd like to start this class. It's going to be about an hour to really go back to our practice and to reconnect with a sense of self-care. So maybe like many of us, you haven't been really practicing yoga or any or meditation or any other kind of your regular practice for the last couple of weeks. Maybe you've been through a lot of stress and some anxiety, facing the unknown and what we are dealing with now. And or maybe in general, it's just a very good reminder to go back to this quality of self-care. And I studied psychology a few years ago and some psychotherapy. And in psychotherapy, in psychology, there's a concept called nourishment barriers. So like with the evolution of the human species, we cultivated an ability to push away what's unhealthy or what's not helpful, but also to actually be aware of that in a way, so we could survive. The downside of that is that we then also pushed away on unprioritized what is nourishing. So today in our society, even though we don't have to go out and hunt or gather our own food and stuff like that, and don't have to be so afraid of wild animals, even though that might be the case, we are actually wired in our psychology and somatically to push away nourishment. And I know for myself, especially in moments where we need it the most, it's very difficult to practice self-care and to go back to our practice. So great that you're here with me today to practice, to go back to this idea. So we're going to dive into that and go back to some of the basics of our yoga practice so we can get a sense of self-care again. So take a comfortable seat. I always like, if you're new to this to yoga or relatively new, I like really to bring my hips a bit higher than my knees. And if your hips are really tight, you don't have to sit cross-legged. You can simply sit knees together and sit back onto your heels, and maybe put a cushion underneath. Otherwise, a few cushions or a blanket also could help. And then turn your thighs in and back. Just establish a comfortable seat so you don't have to round in your lower back. And then you can soften your hands onto your thighs, thumb and index can touch. And gently close your eyes or let your gaze be really soft. And give yourself the care to breathe slowly and to begin to lengthen your breathing. So see whether you can get in touch with the fullness, the full capacity of your lungs by breathing in into your lower belly, and then expand your inhale all the way up to the top of the lungs, and exhale you empty your lungs from the top all the way down to the bottom. And do that a few times. Deep inhale, I'm going to do it together with you. And exhale slowly from top to bottom. And do that a couple of times, simply deep, long, slow breath. And often, when we get anxious, we forgot to breathe. That's very natural. This is again how we survived, so we can concentrate on something else. So see here whether you can give yourself the possibility to breathe slowly, mindfully. Gently place one hand onto your chest. Maybe the other hand can be on your belly or on top of the first hand. And take a moment to really open your awareness to the contact between your palms and your body, like you would be touching someone. You can touch yourself and connect to the sensations of self-touch, of self-care, an embodiment of self-care. Attention to yourself. And bring your palms together in Anjali Mudra. So this is what we do just as a way to gather ourselves and to dedicate our practice to a deeper value or a deeper intention that we care about. Let that intention be self-care today. And if you care, join me for one Om together. Okay, take a deep inhale and let's chant. And gently bow your head to your own heart. Open your eyes and let's come onto hands and knees to begin with. So if you had socks on, I recommend you put them off now. And if your floor is a bit hard, place a blanket under your knees if you need it. And just for this class today, make sure you have I have a belt, but you can also use a scarf or something with you. And I have 2 blocks here, and that would be helpful. Maybe you don't have blocks, maybe a book or like a hard cushion can help. Okay, and we'll get back to them afterwards. So hands underneath your shoulders, about that, maybe a bit more forward. Knees underneath your thighs, your hips. Good. And tuck your toes under. Simply begin to spread your toes a little bit to push into the mat, just to wake up underneath the sole of the feet. Spread your fingers nicely. You can look at your fingers. Press the top finger pad, the top finger joint down. And then curve your lower back, look forward. And inhale deeply. Exhale, pull your belly in. Try to reach your tailbone to the ground and look inside. Inhale, arch your lower back, look forward. And exhale, round your lower back and look inside. So let's do that a few times, cat-cow as we call this pose. And just reconnect to your breath here like we did a moment ago. Let your breath be deep so you can reconnect your movement and your breathing. Taking the time to breathe is one very important aspect of self-care. It just, breath and anxiety cannot coexist. So we breathe slowly and mindfully. Inhale, arch, exhale, round. Inhale, arch your lower back, exhale, round. Okay. And then exhale, come back next time to a more neutral spine. Reach your right foot back and right leg up. And place your toes on the mat. So again, to take contact a bit with the sole of your right foot. Spread your toes and try to reach the 5 toes onto the mat, onto the right foot. Left toes tucked under also. And then push into your foot, reach your right thigh high, belly in, and reach your left hand forward. Okay, quality of balance here. Pull in toward the center, and from your pelvis, stretch back through your feet and forward through your fingers. Exhale to the mat, right knee down. Inhale, left foot back. And exhale, bring your toes onto the mat. Now try to work mindfully each toe down on the mat and then press the thigh up, belly in. When you're ready, right hand forward. Pull the belly in and let yourself stretch here and take a deep breath on the right side. Expand your right lung. Exhale to the mat and come back. Okay. Walk your feet back and your knees back and walk your hands forward. So here If your shoulders are a bit tight, the blocks are going to be handy. You can also work with the blocks even though your shoulders are not tight. Otherwise, you can just leave the blocks on the side. Okay. So spread your fingers, press the hands into the mat or the blocks, lift your elbows and shoulders up a little bit, and pull back. So try to be mindful not to collapse the shoulders and the hip and the chest down, but to get a gentle lift here. And breathe in here, lift up on your left fingertips, like you had a big grapefruit or something underneath your left hand, and then reach your left hip back, belly in. And change right hand fingertips, left hand flat, claw your hands firmly on the mat, and then reach your right hip back. Breathe here. And inhale, come up to your hands, walk them just slightly closer, and then bend your elbows, keep your knees down, and lower yourself down to the mat. Push your toenails, so point your toenails back. Inhale, shoulders back, and take a gentle cobra here, a gentle lift. Exhale down. Okay, 2 more with the breath. Inhale, shoulders back, lift. Stay gentle, don't go too high. Just now, it's still the beginning. Exhale. Inhale, lift, shoulders back. Pose this time up, and then pull your shoulder blades back, pull your hands together, lengthen your spine, and exhale, lower down. Good, tuck your toes under, come up to all fours. Reach your left foot back and up. And exhale, bring your left knee toward your chest and place your foot between your hands. So here again, I have long arms, but if you don't have as long arms as I have, you may use your blocks. So you get a bit more length here. Inhale, here, pose. Here, open your feet, hip distance, tuck your toes, thighs back, belly in, bring your hands up to the sky. Okay. Now breathe here, and then hug your legs toward the midline like a pair of scissors, and then push back from your pelvis down and up. Now through your fingertips. Exhale, arms forward and back. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms forward and back. Use that a couple of times just to oil the shoulders joints a little bit. Exhale back. Inhale up. Exhale back. Inhale up this time. Interlace your fingers and reach your palms up. From your pelvis, press into your right knee and up, and bow to your left side a little bit, so stretching on the right side. And then breathe in toward the right ribs here, like you want to expand your right ribs to the right a little bit. Take a deep inhale there again. And exhale, come back down. Fingertips on the mat. And again, on the blocks or on the fingertips here, move your blocks so your fingertips back a little bit and stretch your left leg all the way. Spread your left toes up. Inhale forward. And exhale, hips back, stretch your left leg. Inhale forward. And exhale. And again, be mindful of your toes here, just for you to grab the floor. So self-care is grounded in reality. We are aware of our needs. So we need to be really aware of our ground here, and this is why the feet are always an important place, an important element of our yoga practice. Exhale back. Inhale forward, good. Okay, and just place your blocks to the sides, hands down, right knee up, and come back now to plank pose, left foot back. So if that's too challenging, keep your knees down. Otherwise, both knees up. Thighs up, belly in, lower halfway down, and exhale to the mat. Point your toes back, inhale, cobra. Exhale to the mat. Tuck your toes under, come up. All fours, pose here. Inhale, right foot back. Pose, exhale, knee to your chest, pull it in, and bring your foot forward. You can use your hand also to help you. Feet hip distance, scissor your legs, butt back, tailbone in, reach up to Anjaneyasana here, low lunge. Okay, scissor your legs. Exhale, arms forward and back. Inhale up. Exhale back. Inhale. And keep your focus here on the breath. And especially in lengthening the breath, like you can lengthen your muscles, you can lengthen your breath. And keep the length on your side ribs as you exhale also. Inhale up and exhale down to the mat. Find your blocks or fingertips. Good. Reach your right leg straight. Inhale forward. Exhale back and move again with your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Okay, and even though we get repetitive here, see whether you can stay focused, going back to the moment, the act of self-care you are engaged in right now. Exhale back. Okay, inhale, come back forward. This time we're going to go back up. Interlace your fingers, reach your hands up and bow to the right side. Now pull your legs toward each other, but back, tailbone in, and bow to the right. Not too much so you collapse, but deeply enough so you can expand your left side ribs. Imagine you want to breathe more in between the left side ribs. One deep breath. Inhale, center, reach both hands up, and exhale to the ground. Bring your right knee back next to your left, and this time walk your hands forward a little bit. Plug your hands nicely onto the mat, and then lift your knees off the floor, downward facing dog. So keep your knees bent here. Maybe you haven't taken any down dog in the last couple of weeks. So be gentle, bend both knees. Look at your feet. Make sure you have contact between each toe and the mat. And then bring the thighs back more. From your heart, press into the hands. From your heart, reach up to your tailbone. Deep inhale, deep self-caring inhale. Exhale slowly. One more deep breath here. Thighs back, bend your knees. Exhale, stretch. Inhale, forward to plank pose. Good. Exhale, knees down. Bend your elbows, try to hug your shoulder blade onto the back. Lift the back of the head a little bit and come down. Point your toes back. Keep your elbows bent. Inhale, shoulders back, and take a cobra pose. Now re-engage in your cobra. Pull your hands and your elbows toward each other a little bit. Shoulders towards each other, and then reach up. Exhale and down. Good. Tuck your toes, come back. Downward facing dog pose. Inhale your right leg up. Exhale, knee to your chest. Pose. And place your foot between your hands. Good. Scissor your legs toward each other here. Yes. Left thigh up, belly in and reach up. High lunge. Okay, pose. Soften. Open to this moment. And then exhale, left hand forward, right hand back, up in the sky, up in the air. Yeah. Right hand towards your sacrum, left hand toward the ceiling. Bend your front knee more, inhale, and leave the back thigh high. Now bring your left elbow outside of your right knee. Pose, right hand onto your hip, and then twist toward the right shoulder back. Okay, so left knee down at any moment if you need to get this support. Inhale, both hands back to the hips and then back to the sky. Exhale, hands to the floor. Walk your hands forward a little bit and step your left foot up in the sky. You can use your blocks here. Walk your hands or your fingertips or your blocks forward. Chest forward, inhale. And exhale, bring your left foot next to your right, hip distance. Inhale, chest forward again. Exhale, bow. If your hamstrings say, I need help, bring your blocks underneath your hands. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale and bow. Okay, now inhale, lift and spread your toes. Reach your heart forward, bend your knees slightly, move your thighs back. And exhale, belly in and bow. Hands to your hips. Relax your toes onto the mat, shoulders back and come all the way up. Bring your hands to the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart. Okay, just pause here. Bend your knees slightly. And take 3 deep breaths where you connect to the sole of your feet. Like you could breathe and really pull air from the earth through your feet. And as you exhale, lean into your back body like you could lean back a little bit against the wall with the whole body, not just the head, but the whole body. And just notice what it brings you, what it gives you to connect to the ground and to connect to your back. Inhale when you're ready. Hands to the sky, open your eyes. Exhale to the floor. Bend both knees. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale, step left foot back, right foot back, downward facing dog again. So I like to bend the knees here and always in the first few down dogs, so I have a bit more space in my hamstrings. Belly in. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Down to the mat. Inhale, interlace your fingers behind your lower back here, shoulder blades together, and pull the head of the arm bone, the big chunk on the top of the arm here, and the shoulder back. Okay, now lift a little bit. Keep your toes on the mat and lengthen through your legs, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, lower down. Okay, hands next to your chest. Tuck your toes and come back to your down dog position, all the way back. Inhale your left foot up into the sky. Pause here for a moment. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, move the top of the right thigh back into space and the base of the right shin back into space. Bend your right knee just a tiny, tiny bit and lift the inner left thigh higher. Here you go. Good. Exhale, knee to chest and place your foot between your hands. Breathe here, maybe up on fingertips onto your blocks. Again, remember if that's a bit challenging with the knee up, knee down is completely fine. Scissor your legs toward each other, right thigh up and come up. High lunge. Okay, pause here. Just take a moment here to notice where you're standing, your capacity to hold balance, to hold focus on your own self-care. Scissor your leg, thighs back, tailbone in, and right hand forward, left hand back. Pause. Bend your front knee, left hand to your sacrum, right hand to the sky. Pause, reach up. Bend your front knee, inhale. Exhale, now twist right elbow. Come all the way across. And move that left shoulder, the top shoulder, back a little bit. Yes, left hand onto your right hand if you like, or just keep it on the hip. Inhale, exhale, inhale, come all the way back up, pause, exhale to the mat. Good. Look forward and you can step your right foot one big step or just a few steps when you need balance and then right foot up. Okay, pause here, bend your left knee a little bit and see whether you can lift your belly a little bit away from your thighs. Maybe even play a bit by lifting one or two hands. And exhale, right foot on the mat, hip distance. Bend both knees, inhale, Utkatasana, okay, the invisible chair. Lift and spread your toes, but back, and sit a bit more back and a bit more down. Belly in, armpits up. Breathe here, exhale, slide your arms back. Inhale up, exhale back, inhale up. Exhale back, interlace your fingers, reach your shoulder blades back. Okay, press into the ground, come up. Relax your toes, turn your palms facing forward. And close your eyes right here. You can just stay where you are. Micro-bend your knees again and take 3 deep breaths again toward your feet. As you inhale, it's like you pull air through your feet gently. And as you exhale, it's like you lean back. And open your senses to the back part of your body, to the skin on your back of your arm, the back of your arms, the back of your legs, the whole back area, the back of your head. There's a sense of all is well, everything is okay when we connect to the back body. See whether you can slightly take that feeling, that sense in. And open your eyes. Okay, so where you are right now, just look at your feet and let's reconnect. We've been working with the feet, but let's reconnect a bit more clearly now. So make your feet parallel. So if you look at the screen right now, the middle of your hip should be in line with the middle of the ankle, like if we draw two parallel lines to the middle of the ankle. And that, if we would continue those two lines, they would grow and come in between toes number 2 and 3. It's a bit technical, but this is for you to explore a little bit what are feet parallel and hip distance. Good. And now take a deep inhale and lift and spread your toes here. Now press the big toe ball mount, the base of the big toe down, the inner heel down. And then try to spread and fan your toes a bit more out, especially toward the little toe. And then press the base of the little toe. Often it would lift, so try to press it down. And then the outer heel down, that's 4 corners. Try to ground that, relax your toes down, but keep lengthening them. And bring your hands to the sky. Just notice now, look up, the grab of your feet onto the mat. Maybe you feel a stronger foundation. Exhale, hands to your heart or to your hips. And lean onto your left foot, lift your right heel up. So try to get those 4 corners on the left foot really grounded. And then lift the right knee up. And now place your foot inside of your shin or inside of your thigh. If balance is really challenging, a wall next to you is helpful, or simply place your right toes on the mat and your heel on the leg. Try to avoid the knee, because now take a deep inhale and exhale, press the leg into the foot a little bit. And then the foot into the leg, but also the leg into the foot. Thighs back, tailbone in, and here we are. Lengthen, Vrikshasana, tree pose. Okay, so different variations here. You can stay here. Keep lengthening through your leg, through your crown. And maybe another variation would be to stretch your arms up to the sky. And maybe for the next 3 breaths, move your arms with your breath. Exhale, arms back and down next to your sides. Inhale, arms up. Just giving you options. If you prefer to stay static, you stay static. Inhale, up. Exhale, back down. Now, okay, bring your right hand onto your knee and bring your knee higher towards your chest. Bend your left leg a little bit, move your booty back. And then, release your knee and stretch your right leg back, hands to the sides, warrior 3. Okay, bend your left knee, your standing knee a little bit, reach through your back heel, reach your heart forward. And exhale, bring your hands down on fingertips onto the block. Okay, spread your toes. Now reach your hips back and now bring your right hand on your hip and open your hip to the side. So I'm going to face you here again for half moon. So your right toes are turning toward the right and your right hand can go toward the sky. Move your booty back, inhale. Exhale, arm possibly alongside your ear. If you're still working with balance, keep both knees bent. And let's do a little mini flow here. Bring your knee toward your chest. Exhale, right knee toward your chest, bend your left knee. Inhale and stretch back. Exhale, face the top of your mat. Bring your knee toward your chest a little bit. Inhale, stretch. And 2 more. Exhale in. Inhale, stretch and reach back. And 1 more. Bend your left knee also. And inhale back. Exhale, right hand down to the mat. Now face the top of the mat. Okay, just stay with me a little bit more. Chest forward. Exhale, now bow over your knee, heart towards your knee. Pause here. Spread your left toes. Reach your right heel higher. And maybe bring your left hand behind your shin. Inhale. Exhale and bow. So don't go too far. As we say, it's not how far you go, it's how you go far. So leave the inner right thigh a bit higher and maybe your chest gets closer to the leg. And exhale, release, bring your right foot on the mat. Inhale, chest forward, long spine. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog pose. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale, bend both elbows, lower and down. Point your toes back, cobra, shoulders back. exhale, and down. Okay, now open your hands outside of the yoga mat. So bring them outside of the yoga mat a bit broader and come up on fingertips. Point your elbows up, point your toenails back, and then shoulders back, lift up in cobra from here. Now pause, come in a little bit lower, and then pull the belly in, shoulders back, and reach up again. Look over your right shoulder, but try to keep your left shoulder blade back. Reach through your feet, extend your toes back all the way up to the crown. Inhale, exhale, lower a little bit toward the center, and then reach up and look to the other side. Right shoulder back, so it's not popping forward, it's really moving back. Extend to your feet, to your head. Exhale, come back to center. And take a moment here. Just lower your forehead to the ground. Release all your muscles for a moment. And breathe against the mat, your belly against the mat, so you feel the capacity of your lungs really, and the capacity of your breath, your capacity for self-care. As your belly expands. And then tuck your toes. Okay, for some of us, stay on your knees. For some of us, place your hands next to your chest and lift your knees off the floor. Lift your belly in a little bit and come back up, chaturanga, up to plank, and back, downward facing dog. Look forward, inhale. Exhale, bend both knees and either walk or jump toward the top of your yoga mat. Inhale and exhale, bow. Hands to your hips, bend your knees more. Okay, keep your hands here. And now look at your knees. Reconnect to the four corners of your feet again. Big toe mount inside of the heel. Little toe mount outside of the heel. And as you bend your knees, try to keep your shins vertical, so like perpendicular to the floor. So the knee has to move back a little bit. And that's a bit more challenging for the legs, leg muscles. So move your body back here. Hands can be here, and try to keep that. As you push the front of your foot down, move your thighs back more. Yes. Arms to the side. Utkatasana. Come a bit more down. And almost all the way up. Exhale, more down. Inhale, almost all the way, but almost all the way. And exhale down. Inhale up. Okay, try to keep your knee moving back. Inhale. Exhale. Two more. Up. Okay, you can always pause the video. That's a good thing about the video. And exhale down. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, arms to the sides. Good. Turn your palms facing forward and close your eyes here. Breathe softly towards your feet. As you exhale, lean into your back body more. You can place one hand on your chest just for a few breaths. And make a commitment for yourself. What's one act of self-care I can commit to the next 5 days, once a day? It can be a foot bath. It can be 5 minutes meditation. It can be something you find really healthy, something that's really is helpful to you. And then open your eyes. Okay, hands to your hips. Find your hip distance feet again. Remember, poof, feet parallel. And then lean a bit more towards your right foot. Lift and spread your toes if you need to reconnect to the four corners. And then let your toes come down. Left knee up this time. Left foot inside of the thigh or the foot of the shin. Find your ideal pose, and then take a deep inhale, lengthen, and then push the foot and the leg toward each other. Okay, right thigh back, hands in front of your heart or onto your hips or up toward the ceiling. And wherever you are, stretch from the hips down to the earth and then up through your crown or through your fingertips if they're up. Stay here. If you did so on the other side, exhale, arms to the sides. Inhale, arms up. And allow yourself to really, I want to say, like really tune into your breath, like to really merge with the breath. So your movements are just an expression of your breath. One more round. And exhale, left hand onto your knee. Bring your knee towards your chest. Pause here, hug towards your center for balance. And then lean forward, booty back, bend your right knee a little bit. Warrior 3. Pause here and float. You can play with getting your arms back, pointing back, or forward, a bit more challenging. Try to square your hips forward. Whoa. And exhale, hands down to the mat. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale and gently bow now. Bend your knee. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale and bow. Good. Inhale, chest forward. And this time, right hand on the block or in front of you on fingertips. And open your hip to the side gently. So left hip up. Now reach from your hip. Bring your right buttock under. Leave the inner left heel a bit higher. Belly in and open. Adha Chandrasana. Imagine you can push your top foot, your left foot, onto a table. So it's not reaching super high. It's like more. Then you can push that and use that to expand and stretch. Okay, so bend your knee. If you need a bit more support, that's always fine. If you work here with a bit more balance. Okay, so extend. Exhale. Now let's move together. Bend your knee. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, reach. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale in. Inhale up. Exhale in. One more. Inhale up. Exhale in. Inhale up. Okay, left hand down. Now look forward. Square your hips toward the top of your mat. And exhale. Almost done. Bring your heart towards your knee. Right hand maybe behind your shin. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale and bow. So bend your knee here a little bit and then push, if you have your hand, push your hand into your shin back into your hand, otherwise right hand to the mat. Inhale and exhale. Good, inhale. Exhale, belly in and up. Good. And exhale, bring your knee and your foot closer. Good. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale and bow, Uttanasana. Okay, open your feet a bit wider than your hips now. And bend your knees. As you bend your knees, bring your heels closer to each other for a squat, Malasana. So if you're a bit tight, your heels probably will stay up and won't be able to come down. So this is where a blanket can be helpful. If your heels reach to the ground, so you can be there. Okay, so next, bring your elbows inside of your knees. So you're not reaching too far down, but actually staying a bit up, so you still have room to breathe here on your sides. Okay, hands can be together. And here again, lift and spread your toes, connect to the earth. Lift your booty up a little bit. And now push the elbows inside of your inner knees as you lift your hips way up, almost like horizontal to the ground. And move the inner thighs back, look forward. And now push your knees and your elbows toward each other as you try to broaden the sit bones back and apart. Try to keep that, pull the belly in and lower your hips down, but try to keep the distance you just established here. It's going to create more space in your lower back. Try that again, lift your hips, press the elbows inside, thighs back, and you're like, Cedric, I thought it was self-care. This is not very self-care to me. Hopefully you'll thank me tomorrow when you think about me. And then reach back and exhale, belly in. Okay, here we go. Use your hands to help you come down onto your booty, onto the mat. And then bring your knees toward each other and bring your hands underneath your knees. Lift your right leg up, right shin parallel to the ground. Yeah. And then maybe left shin next to the right. Okay, right shoulder and left shoulder back. Chest up. Inhale and maybe let go. So you get off the bus, as we say, when you need to. So you can stay here. You can reach your arms forward, a bit more advanced. And then still turn your thighs in and try to broaden your sit bones also here. And then stretch your legs. That's the third version. Inhale, arms up. Pull the belly in, reach your heart a bit higher. Breathe. Exhale, arms to the sides. Bend your knees. Bring your hands behind. And pause here. Bring the sole of the feet together. Baddha Konasana. If you have really to round a lot here onto your back and your knees are very high, please sit on the blanket. If you, otherwise, if you can stay here, you can stay here with hands by the side of your hips. Now press the feet together more and just find these four corners of the feet again. Big toe mound, inner heel, little toe mound, outer heel. But back, inhale, that's possible, hands towards the front of the mat. And exhale, now press the feet together, thighs back. Inhale and exhale, lower. Inhale, exhale and lower. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower. So, okay, now from your hips, press, reach out to your knee, and from the knee into the feet. And exhale, bow. Okay, now reach up again. And move your feet. So now your left shin, I'm going to mirror you. So your left shin is in front of your right shin. And notice I'm not sitting in meditation, but I'm putting my shins a bit more forward. Sukhasana it's called. So shins parallel to the short end of the mat, and your ankles are underneath your knees. Now move your booty back a little bit, or your blanket back if you were sitting on a blanket. Spread your toes, and inhale, reach your heart forward, exhale, bow over your thighs. So inhale, come up, and do this. Cross your wrists, and again go back to this rotation of the thighs we worked with. So touch your thighs with the fingers inside, and then turn the thighs in. Try to spread your sit bones a bit apart and lean forward here. When you begin to lean forward and have the sense you can keep that, or the intention that you can keep that, then bring your hands forward again. Inhale and exhale. Inhale up and exhale. Good. Okay, come back up. Inhale, come all the way up. And then let's transition with the other shin in front. Good. So the heel is about under the knees. Pull your buttock back. If you had to change again, rotate your thighs in. So the rotation is like turning the thighs in and moving them a bit apart from each other. So again, that's going to create all the way, space all the way up into the lower back, and then lean forward. If you can keep that, bring your arms toward the front. That's really challenging. Stay up a little bit and simply lean your belly over your hips just a tiny bit. Okay, so different versions. Now imagine you can push your feet into a wall or into a block. So your legs are pretty active, your feet are pretty active. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. And exhale deeply. Inhale, come back up. And gently bring your feet a bit closer. Now bring your feet hip distance. Come down onto your elbows and come down onto your back with the feet parallel and on the mat and hip distance. Okay. So here, if you have your belt, if you know you have tight shoulders, it's really optional. But that might be handy. You're going to see why. Okay, shoulders back. Inhale, so just make sure your feet are underneath, your ankles is about underneath your knee. Shoulders back. You can start pointing the fingertips up, elbows down. Roll shoulder blades onto the back. And try to curve your lower back a bit more. So it's not flat on the lower back at all. It's actually a bit more curved, so you have this natural curve. And then pull the belly in and up and lift your hips off the floor. Shoulders back. And now you can interlace your fingers or grab your belt here. Shoulders are a bit tight. And simply pull the belt like you want to pull it apart from each other and roll your shoulder blades back. Shoulders back. Inhale and exhale, lower down. Okay. So now, depending on whether you had the belt, I mean not depending actually, independently on whether you had the belt or not, grab the belt or the scarf and place it in front of your ankles. So you can grab each side of the belt with your hands and you place it just above your ankle, kind of on the ankle, just a little bit toward the top of the ankle. And then grab the belt like here, shoulders back. Inhale when you're ready, belly in, hips up. Okay, and pause here. So now, shoulders are back. Locate the middle of your head. Inhale and try to reach the center, upper palate, center of the head towards the floor. And now from the center of the head, reach up through your knees and pull into the belt as you kind of want to move your feet forward. There's different things happening at the same time. So pull the belt back, shoulders back, and from your heart, reach up through your knees, head back. Deep inhale, the chin stays where it is. The chest maybe lifts toward the chin a little bit. And exhale, lower down. Okay, just move the belt to the side. You're going to stay here and rest or go for a third round of your choice, with, without the belt. Hands can be on the mat, can be up, and lift up. Okay, stay here, or if you want a little bit more challenge here, right knee up to your chest, right heel to the sky. Inhale, press your elbows or your wrist into the mat if your hands are down. And exhale, right foot down. Inhale, left knee to your chest. And reach up, reach up. Inhale, exhale down, and slowly come down. Good. Okay, breathe here. Simply close your eyes and allow for a moment the energy and your weight to go down toward the ground. Notice this act of releasing, of accepting, of letting go right after an effort. And gently place your hands on top of your thighs. So one of the best things you can do after a back bend, even though it's a gentle back bend, is to extend your lower back in case it's been compressed. So now try to arch your lower back a little bit and lengthen your belly, pull your belly in, lengthen your tailbone and press your hands onto your thighs to kind of lengthen the base of your spine a little bit. Lengthen through your head. One more deep breath. Good, and then place your left ankle on top of your right knee and lift your right shin off the floor. Interlace your fingers behind your right thigh. Try to reach your left knee to the left a little bit. Sit bones down. Inhale through your heart, through your spine. And exhale. Gently try to bring the top of the right thigh back into your hands. And exhale. Gently. Good. Release. Place your right foot on the mat. And now bring your left knee above your right. So now you're crossing your legs. Hands to the sides. Move your hips to the left a little bit. And then roll onto your right side. Right here. Okay, twist. So left knee is on top. Right hand can come on top of your knee. And reach your left arm behind you a bit more to the left. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Try to soften your left shoulder toward the ground, to soften your knees toward the ground. Inhale. And exhale. You can close your eyes and take at least 3 deep breaths more right here. It's like going back to the beginning of the class where we invited the deep, mindful breath to act as a soft intention of self-nourishment. Inhale and let your breath really nourish you in every cell. Exhale and let it out. Okay, one more deep breath. And gently inhale and bring your knees up. Set your left foot down on the mat. And then bring your right knee up, right ankle on top of your left knee. Interlace your fingers behind your left thigh. Lift your left shin up. And exhale, reach the thigh back into your hands. Right knee a bit more out to the side and breathe here. Each time you exhale, imagine you can broaden the space between your sit bones again. Let yourself get spacious, entering the space, being comfortable with your space. And exhale, left foot down. Cross your right knee on top of your left. Move your hips slightly to the right, hands to the side, and roll now knees toward the left. So right knee is on top. Left hand onto your knees just to help you here if you need to. Right arm up. So you can decide right arm straight or right arm kind of halfway diagonally to the side. And then breathe here. You can turn your head. It's not so important, but just find a comfortable spot. And then take a deep inhale and lengthen your right side. Exhale, soften your right shoulder down, your right hip a bit away from your waist here on the right side. And again, give yourself the gift of a few deep breaths here. Again, remember, a breath is like the friend of self-care. And especially in deep twist here, because we work with the inner digestive organs. When you breathe deeply towards your belly in a twist, you help awaken the part of your nervous system that calms things down, that brings grounding. So take at least one deep breath here. And exhale slowly. Good, and when you're ready, inhale, bring both knees up again. And draw your knees toward the outside of your ribs. Just gentle here, so not pulling the knees too hard, but simply keeping the knees out a little bit. Find some space in your lower pelvis again, the lower part of your spine. You can rock gently from side to side. And exhale, release and roll to your side. Just help yourself up. So we're going to transition into Shavasana. Maybe grab your bolster or take 2 or 4 pillows underneath your thighs, so from the knees to the beginning of your thighs. And then grab your blanket or extra layers to stay warm. And let's settle for Shavasana. Okay. Lean back and gently take a few deep breaths. Inhale from your feet up to your throat and exhale into your back body and let yourself arrive and soften to the ground. Continue to deepen your breathing. And revisit this way of breathing from the feet as you inhale all the way up. And as you exhale, release and soften your back body into the ground. Inhale through your feet, all the way up to your throat, to your head. And exhale, release your back body into the support of the ground. So really the ultimate goal or ultimate act of self-care is to give yourself space to be, to accept who you are, to completely embrace the moment as it is. So right now, give yourself space to simply be in that moment, in yourself. Relax your eyeballs, your jaws, your belly, your ankles, your thighs, your pelvis. Allow your whole weight to descend, to relax, to release with gravity. Just take a few more breaths right here. Relax the last few parts of your body, maybe at the top of the neck. In between your toes, but that parts that are still tensed. And begin slowly to deepen your breath. And as you deepen your breath, try to reconnect your breath to your back body, both the inhale and the exhale. Begin to move your fingers, your toes, to begin to stretch. Inhale and exhale gently. You can roll onto your right side and bend your knees, and very softly keep your eyes closed. Come back up to a sitting posture. You can take a moment here if you need to adjust your seat. And when you're up again, just place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Begin to reopen, to reconnect to the meeting of your hand and your body. A very concrete signal to your body to say, I care for you. I feel you, literally. I am interested. And you can bring the hand that's on your belly on top of the first hand on your heart. Talking about self-care, again, in the next 5 days, what's one act, one action you can commit yourself to do each day as an act of self-care? Just let your heart answer, not so much your head. Bring your palms together. Let's invoke the help of grace to make this act of self-care possible and a reality. And let's end our class by chanting one Om. And if chanting Om as we do online classes is challenging for you because of the surroundings, you can chant Om silently. And if you don't like the sound of my voice when I chant Om, you can always turn down the volume of your speaker. That's also a possibility with video. Okay, and take a deep inhale. Exhale your breath. And let's take a deep inhale and chant Om together. Thank you so much for practicing with me and bringing an act of self-care in your day. Self-care is caring for others. Namaste. Thank you. See you soon.